The existence of ancient rituals in the Rio Grande Valley is a reality. Astrologers and interpreters claim to be an alternative or a complement to religion and science and do more than just predict the future. They say they help discover oneself and decipher our issues. But what if we seek these answers in esoteric practices, and what happens if they're misused? Servando Hinojosa is a professor of anthropology at the University of Texas Pan American. He admits the existence of pagan rituals in South Texas is unique because of the blending of pre-Hispanic and Western traditions that continue to be practiced.
They made use of whatever resources they had at hand, and often this meant turning to the people that they had long trusted, that came from local traditions of healing, that they knew were effective.
The professor argues that in many circumstances, poorer regions like in South Texas not only resort to these practices by tradition, but also for necessity, because the cost to seek a specialist is too high.
These kinds of prayerful interactions, if you want to call them that, are taking place outside of the purview of established institutions. The dominant judging body of these practices is still institutional Christianity, which still bears a very heavy imprint on the way most people think about these practices.
But the faith of a pastor rejects this for one simple reason.
Las prácticas del tarot, las prácticas de la hechicería.
The tarot practices, witchcraft, occultism, it's all not something adopted by the church, simply because there is good and there is evil. And we believe that good is with God and God is sovereign, meaning He has control over everything.
Es decir, tiene control sobre todas las cosas.
However, the pastor does understand the need and its source.
Queremos saber el futuro.
We want to know the future. We want to know about our lives. It's a question of purpose. It's a question of wanting to know the meaning of why God has us here on earth.
Tienen esta tierra.
Another problem, according to Christian authorities, is syncretism, a modern and appealing trend that merges different beliefs, offering the best of two worlds. But they warn this may lead people into dark places.
I wanted to curse God and die, so I sought out other gods.
He was brought up in Christianity, but at age 30, Mario Samaniego lost his mother to diabetes. He was living a tormented life, and for 2 years, he practiced the Caribbean rituals of Santeria, a mix of Catholicism and African religions.
And I was still struggling with Santeria and doing manipulations and casting spells and spending time at graveyards and all what you hear and see in the movies, but to the extreme.
As part of his responsibilities, Samaniego says he had to sacrifice animals and bathe in their blood, and also cast spells on clothing to gain money and love. But after a while, he says, the demands by his group grew more disturbing.
It came to the point where, I think to the last straw where there was almost a sacrifice of a human when I was supposed to go to Cuba.
Samaniego confesses he was suffering from a guilty conscience, but it wasn't until a night that he was driving his trailer truck across the United States under heavy rain that everything changed.
I was struggling with my aspect of, well, who do I serve? And I was so sleepy and tired. I said, God, if you're there, take me to the next exit out of the city. This torrential downpour, I was able to take this beast of a vehicle into the next exit and just, put it in park and go back to my sleeper and weep like a baby and say, God, please forgive me.
Si hay poder en las tinieblas, claro.
Is there power in darkness? Of course there is. Do they offer quick solutions? Many times they do. But are they long-lasting, eternal, or permanent solutions?
No.
The truth and what is real depends on each one's perspective, ruled by the influences that have guided one's life. The result is diverse beliefs all over the world, and while misconceptions and abuse of these practices or of religion exist, they will all continue to be questioned or rejected by society. But the understanding of these could help break the taboo. Reporting for Fox 2 News, Oscar Margain.